I killed my own blood that night, not with bullets or blades, but with the cold precision of truth, watching her empire crumble from the shadows of the life she stole from me. My sister handed me that photo, her hands trembling like autumn leaves in a Michigan gale, and in it, I saw the ghost of the woman who'd framed me for her sins 20 years ago. And the kid I'd raised as my own? He was the living proof, the son she abandoned, the pawn she sent to unravel everything I'd rebuilt from the ashes of her betrayal. The fluorescent lights in the Wayne County Juvenile Detention Center buzzed like angry hornets, casting a sickly pallor over the visitation room's scarred Formica table. I sat there, Madison Hale, 42 years old and counting every gray hair like indictments against my choices, waiting for Alex to shuffle in. Foster dad of 3 years to this 17-year-old storm cloud of a kid, and still, every visit felt like negotiating a minefield. He'd been pinched again, joyriding in a stolen Impala, high on whatever synthetic crap the streets of Detroit were peddling that week. The social worker, Ms. Ramirez, had called me at dawn, her voice all sympathy and subtext. "He's spiraling, Mr. Hale. You sure you want to keep this up?" Hell yes, I wanted to keep it up. Alex was mine in the ways that mattered. The late-night talks over cold pizza when his nightmares clawed him awake. The way he'd finally let me teach him to change the oil in my old Ford F-150. But blood? Nah, that was a luxury I didn't claim. Not after what I'd lost. The door clanged open, and there he was, lanky frame drowning in an orange jumpsuit, dark curls matted, eyes like chipped obsidian, defiant, but cracking at the edges. He dropped into the chair opposite me, chains rattling softly, and for a beat, we just stared. No hugs in here, that was for the movies. "You look like shit, kid," I said, sliding a pack of Skittles across the table, the only contraband they'd allow. He snatched them up, ripping the bag with his teeth. "Yeah? Well, you're the one who keeps showing up. What's your excuse this time, Matt? Guilt trip from the foster gods?" I leaned back, forcing a grin. "Nah, just missed your sunny disposition. And hey, next time steal something with better gas mileage. That Impala guzzles like my ex-wife at last call." He snorted, a ghost of a laugh, but it died quick. "They sayin' I might get tried as adult. 6 months minimum if the judge is feelin' spiteful." My gut twisted. Detroit's courts didn't play favorites with black kids from the east side. I'd seen it chew up better men than us. We'll fight it. Got a public defender who owes me a favor from that pro bono stint last year. You keep your head down, all right? No more dumbass risks. Alex's jaw tightened, his fingers drumming the table like Morse code for regret. "Why, though? You ain't my dad. Blood or otherwise. Why bother with a fuck-up like me?" "Because you're the closest thing to redemption I've got," I thought. But out loud. Who says I need a reason? Eat your candy. We talked for the hour. School bullshit he wasn't acing. The tattoo he wanted on his 18th birthday. A phoenix, rising from flames. Kitted layers. And by the end, his shoulders weren't quite so hunched. As the guard led him away, he paused, twisting back. "Hey, Matt, that photo album you got in the truck. The one with the old pics? Can I see more sometime? Feels like, I dunno, pieces missing." I nodded, throat tight. "Yeah, soon as you're out." Driving back through the skeletal streets of Motown, snow flurries whipping against the windshield like accusations, I couldn't shake his words. The album. It was buried in the glove box, a relic from my pre-prison days, back when I believed in family as something unbreakable. I'd shown him one page last month, just to fill the silence during a long haul to the lake. Faces from a life that wasn't mine anymore. Home was a sagging duplex on Mack Avenue, the kind of place where the rent was cheap because the ghosts were free. My sister, Lena, was crashing on the couch again. Divorce number 2 had her bouncing between motels and my fridge. She was in the kitchen when I walked in, nursing a mug of instant Folgers, her nurse's scrubs rumpled from a double shift at Henry Ford Hospital. "Alex?" she asked without looking up. Sharp as ever, my little sis. 5 years younger, but she'd always been the one patching wounds while I punched walls. "Back in lockup. Joyride." I shrugged off my coat, the chill clinging like bad news. She whistled low. "Kid's got your reckless streak. You gonna bail him out again?" "If I have to mortgage the truck." I grabbed a beer from the fridge, twisting the cap with more force than necessary. Lena eyed me over her mug, those hazel eyes. Same as Mom's, seeing too much. "You ever think Maybe he's more than just a foster project? That photo you showed me last week, the one with the baby? Swear I've seen that woman before. I froze mid-sip. The baby. Me, 22 and cocky, cradling my newborn niece. No, wait. That album was a minefield of half-truths. What are you talking about? She set her mug down, pulling her phone from her pocket. Scrolled through some old yearbooks from Cass Tech last night, bored out of my skull. This. She tapped the screen, zooming in on a grainy scan. Homecoming '03, cheer squad in the bleachers. Front row, all smiles and hairspray. A girl with sharp cheekbones, raven hair in a high pony, arms slung around a younger Lena. And in the background, blurred but unmistakable, holding a toddler, the same woman from the photo. Veronica Slade. My ex. The ghost who'd torched my life. Jesus, Lena. My voice came out rough, like gravel. That's her. With you? How? Turns out, she was my lab partner senior year. V. Slade. Thought it was just some white girl from the suburbs slumming it. We lost touch after graduation. But that baby. Mad. That's gotta be. Alex. I finished, the pieces slamming together like a car wreck. The dates lined up. Veronica had vanished right after high school, pregnant and panicked, leaving me to clean up her mess. I'd taken the fall for the armed robbery she'd botched, her desperate grab for quick cash to fund some pipe dream of escape. 5 years inside, my record a scarlet letter, dreams of law school evaporating like Detroit snow in spring. And now, the kid I'd poured my soul into saving was her blood. Ours. No, hers and some other fools, abandoned like yesterday's trash. Lena's face crumpled. Why didn't you tell me? All these years. Because some secrets are landmines, sis. You step wrong, and boom. I slammed the beer down, foam spilling like tears. She framed me, Lena. Pinned that robbery on me to cover her tracks. I did the time, lost everything. And now her son's crashing my doorstep like fate's sick joke. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. The room spun, walls closing in with the weight of it all. Alex wasn't just troubled, he was a walking indictment. Every hug, every lesson, it was all tainted now. Betrayal's echo, 20 years late. That night, sleep was a stranger. I lay in the dark, staring at the water-stained ceiling, Veronica's face superimposed over the cracks. Scheming bitch, always 3 steps ahead. She'd flipped on me without a blink, lover to liability overnight. Whispered in the DA's ear, planted the evidence, watched me get cuffed while she slipped away with a wad of dirty bills. And the kid? She dumped him on the system like yesterday's regret, bouncing through foster mills until he landed in mine. By dawn, resolve hardened like frost on the windowsill. No more playing savior to her sins. But revenge? That was a darker road, one I'd sworn off after the joint. Still, as I laced up my boots for the drive to court, a plan flickered. Find her. Expose her. Make her choke on the life she'd stolen. The courthouse loomed like a concrete monolith, all pillars and pretense, as I pushed through the metal detectors. Alex's hearing was a farce, public defender droning pleas, judge with a comb-over and zero patience. Remanded to detention pending evaluation. The gavel cracked, and just like that, my kid, her kid, was gone for months. I didn't fight it. Not today. Instead, I hit the library downtown, the one with the microfiche machines that smelled like mildew and forgotten scandals. Hours blurred into a hunt. Veronica Slade, last known in '04, a ghost trail of aliases. V. Langford in Chicago real estate flips. Then V. Harlan running a consulting firm in Atlanta. Schemer through and through, always reinventing, always climbing on others' backs. A hit. LinkedIn profile, polished headshot of a woman in her 40s, silver-streaked hair in a sleek bob, smiling like she owned the world. Veronica Hale. No, wait, Slade Hale. She'd taken my name? The audacity burned. CEO of Viridian Holdings, a shadowy outfit dealing in urban redevelopment, gentrifying hoods like ours, flipping them for white flight profits. Detroit address, a gleaming loft in Midtown, miles from the decay she'd spawned. My phone buzzed. Lena, you okay? Heard about the hearing. Fine, I lied. Gonna pay Ms. Slade a visit. Silence, then, mad, don't. That's a one-way street. But I was already en route, the F-150 growling through traffic, heart pounding a war drum. The building was all glass and arrogance, doorman eyeing me like yesterday's trash. Veronica Slade, I said, voice steady as rebar. Appointment. He smirked. Tell her it's Madison, old friend from Cass Tech. His radio crackled, and minutes later, the elevator dinged me up to the penthouse. She opened the door herself, poised, perfumed, a queen in Lululemon, and for a split second, recognition flickered, then iced over. Madison Hale. My name on her lips, smooth as silk noose. To what do I owe this? Nostalgia trip? I stepped inside, the door clicking shut like a trap. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city she'd gutted, champagne flutes on a marble island. Alex, I said simply, our mutual blast from the past. Her smile didn't crack, but her eyes did, sharp, calculating. Foster kid, right? Heard he's a handful. Social services called last month, sniffing for donations. I declined. Liar. I pulled the photo from my pocket, the one Lena had flagged. The baby, her arm around my sister. You knew. Always did. Dumped him like he was nothing, same as you dumped me. She poured a drink, unhurried, sliding one my way. Water under the bridge, mad. We were kids. Mistakes happen. Mistakes? I rotted in Jackson for your mistake. Armed robbery rap. Your prints on the gun, your DNA in the van. But poof, it was me. You flipped, testified, built this. I gestured at the opulence, on my bones. Veronica sipped, unflinching. Survival, darling. You were the fall guy with priors, petty theft from Dad's shop. I was pregnant, scared. Had to choose. And choose you did. Left me to the wolves, vanished with the take. But Alex? That's low, even for you. She set the glass down, circling me like a shark. He's not yours. Some fling in '03, before you. I couldn't keep him. Too young, too broke. Systems better equipped. Bullshit. Rage boiled, but I leashed it. This was chess, not checkers. He knows now. Lena connected the dots. And I'm telling him everything. Your empire crumbles when the Post runs the story. Slum lord mom abandoned son, frames ex for her crimes. Her laugh was champagne sharp. You think that's revenge? I'll bury you again. One call to my lawyers, and you're back in the gutter. Alex? I'll buy his silence, college fund, whatever. He's a kid. Kids fold. I leaned in, close enough to smell her fear under the Chanel. Try it. But first, feel this. I dropped a USB drive on the counter, hacked records from a PI buddy, proof of her shell company's laundering gentrification graft. Your dirty little secrets. Leak, and Viridian tanks. For the first time, she faltered, a micro-tremor in her hand. What do you want, Madison? Money? The kid off your hands. Justice. The word tasted like ash. Confess. To Alex, to me. Or I pull the pin. She straightened, mask snapping back. Get out. We'll talk terms later. I left, the elevator descent a freefall into certainty. This was war, her schemes against my scars. But as the doors opened to the lobby, my phone lit up. Unknown number. A text, nice try, Mad. But blood calls to blood. Check your foster file. Attached, a scan of Alex's birth certificate. Father, Madison Hale. The world tilted. She'd lied again. He was mine. The revelation hit like a sucker punch from the joint, raw, disorienting, leaving me gasping on the sidewalk outside her tower. Father, Madison Hale. Scribbled in faded ink, witnessed by some county clerk I'd never met. 20 years, and she'd hoarded that bomb, deploying it now to unmoor me. Was it truth or another flip, another layer of her web? My hands shook as I fired up the truck, the engine's roar drowning the questions screaming in my skull. Lena was waiting when I burst through the door, her shift swapped for worry lines etched deep. What happened? You look like you saw a ghost. Worse. I thrust the phone at her, the birth cert glowing like contraband. Alex's. Mine. Biologically. She lied about everything. The fling, the abandonment. Used him as leverage from the jump. Lena scanned it, breath hitching. Holy shit, mad DNA test? We need. No. I paced the linoleum, boots thudding like heartbeats. She's playing me. Always does. Confess or destroy, that was the deal. Now this. It's checkmate bait. She grabbed my arm, grounding me. Then walk away. For Alex. Be the dad he needs, not the avenger she made you. But walking away was for saints, and I'd traded that halo for survival ink in the yard. Can't. Not till she pays. I stopped, meeting her eyes, pleading, fierce. Help me, Lena. Dig deeper. Hospital records, her old aliases. Find a crack. She sighed, but nodded. Fine. But if this blows up, it's on you. And Alex stays out of it. Promise. The next weeks blurred into a grind of shadows and screens. By day, I lawyered up Alex's appeal, pro bono hours at the legal aid clinic, arguing diminished capacity and systemic bias till the judge relented to house arrest. The kid came home in ankle monitor splendor, crashing on the couch with a duffel and a wary glare. Thanks, Matt, owe you. Don't, I muttered, avoiding his eyes. The secret gnawed, a rat in my ribs. How do you tell a boy his life's a lie, that the mom he hated for ditching him was a viper who'd framed his real dad? Nights, Lena and I huddled over her laptop, cross-referencing Veronica's empire. Viridian wasn't just redevelopment. It was a hydra, subsidiaries skimming HUD grants, evicting tenants for luxury condos while pocketing relocation funds that never materialized. One file stood out, a 2018 whistleblower complaint, buried by NDAs and payoffs. The complainant? A former exec, drowned in the Detroit River, ruled suicide, but the coroner's notes screamed foul. She's ruthless, Lena whispered, scrolling emails laced with threats. Flips allies like pancakes, hires, promotes, then discards when they sniff too close. My blood ran cold. The robbery wasn't her first rodeo, it was practice. And now she's circling Alex. That text? Warning shot. As if summoned, my phone pinged. Family reunion soon. V. Attached, a photo of the duplex from across the street, snapped that afternoon. Stalker vibes, pure menace. I bolted the doors, checked the windows, guns safe in the basement calling my name. Paranoia? Maybe. But in Detroit, ghosts don't haunt, they hunt. Alex sensed the shift, orbiting me like a wary satellite. We fell into routine. Morning runs along the riverfront, where the Ambassador Bridge loomed like a steel scar. Evenings fixing up the F-150, his hands steadying under mine. You ever think about your folks? He asked one night, grease-smeared and squinting at the carburetor. All the time, I hedged. Complicated. He nodded, wiping his brow. Mine ditched me at birth. Foster file says unknown. Guess that's why I act out. Chasing what I never had. Guilt clawed deeper. You're enough, kid. Blood's overrated. But lies have half-lives, and mine was decaying fast. Lena's dig turned gold mid-month, a hidden trust fund. Veronica's slush for Alex. Untouched, but monitored. She'd been watching him, pulling strings from afar. A shadow mom, scheming his path to keep him leashed. Confrontation 2.0 brewed, inevitable. I staked her loft one rainy Thursday, parked in the alley with thermos coffee and binoculars. She emerged at dusk, umbrella blooming black, sliding into a black Escalade. Tail job easy. Her driver was sloppy, weaving through Corktown like he owned it. She stopped at a dive on Gresham, the rusty nail, neon flickering, live bait in the window. I hung back, hood up, slipping in after the door swung shut. Smoke-hazed dimness, jukebox wailing Springsteen, classic Motown melancholy. Veronica at the bar, nursing whiskey, chatting up a suit with a predatory gleam. I slid onto a stool two down, ordering a bud. She clocked me in the mirror, lips curving. Stalking now? Classy. Research. I clinked my bottle to her glass. Nice setup. Trusts, tails, mom of the year. The suit excused himself, sensing static. She turned, eyes glinting. Protecting my investment. Alex is hale blood, smart, resilient. Like his father, before the fall. I leaned in, voice low thunder. Cut the bullshit. The cert's real? Then why run? Why frame me? She traced the rim of her glass, evasive as ever. You were stable, mad mechanic gig, family name. I panicked, pregnant by my high school sweetheart, robbery gone south. Needed a scapegoat to bolt. You fit. Fit. I loved you. The words escaped, raw as open wire. Love's a luxury. She shrugged, but her gaze softened a fracture. I built this for him. Viridian's his inheritance. Redevelop the city, break the cycle. You're the cautionary tale. Rage flared, but something else too, pity? For the girl who'd chosen empire over embrace. He's not a stock portfolio. And I'm telling him. All of it. Her hand shot out, gripping my wrist, cold, urgent. Don't. He'll hate us both. Let me fix it. Pull strings, get his record expunged. Be the silent partner. Tempting. I pulled free, standing. But silence is what got us here. Tick-tock. V. Confess, or the USB drops to every newsroom from here to DC. Outside, rain lashed like judgment, blurring taillights. Her offer hung, a devil's bargain, complicity for peace. But as I gunned the truck home, Alex's face flashed, innocent in his ignorance. Could I doom him to our poison? Lena was frantic when I walked in, rain pooling at my feet. She's here. Called, said meet now. Something about Alex, trouble. My blood iced. The living room, Alex on the couch, white as milk, clutching his phone. Mad got this. Video clip, him at 16, juvie scuffle caught on grainy cam, now doctored. Looks like assault, time-stamped yesterday. Deepfake city. Her, I growled. Leverage. Alex looked up, lost. Who? The door rattled, pounding, authoritative. Detroit PD. Open up. Veronica's flip, swift as a blade. She'd sicked the cops, painting me the unstable ex framing her for kicks. House arrest violated. Evidence planted. I was the villain again. Chaos erupted. Cuffs cold on my wrists. Miranda writes a dirge. Alex yelling, Lena pleading. As they hauled me out, past the neighbor's porch lights, I locked eyes with the Escalade idling curbside. Veronica in the passenger seat, profile regal, waving once, like farewell to a fool. Jail cell that night. Concrete and regret, echoes of Jackson. But this time, fire instead of despair. She'd overplayed. The deep fake had tells, metadata Lena could trace. And Alex? He'd seen enough to question. By morning, bail posted by a mystery donor, Viridian Shell? No, Lena's hospital fund, drained dry. Fight smart, she whispered through the grate. Alex is digging. Found the album, the photo. Wants answers. Back home, the kid cornered me in the kitchen, album open like an autopsy. This her? My mom. I nodded, gut churning. Yeah, and I'm your dad, Alex. Biologically. She hid it. Framed me to escape. Everything. The robbery, the abandonment, her mess. His face crumpled, then hardened, mirroring my own ghosts. Why tell me now? Because lies end here. And revenge? It's ours if you want it. He paused, then, not destruction. Justice. Real kind. Alliance forged in fractured light. We plotted. Leaked the USB to a trusted reporter at the Free Press, cross-reference with the whistleblower's kin. Veronica's house of cards teetered. But she countered, Machiavellian as ever. Anonymous tips flooded socials. Me as deadbeat foster abuser. Alex as ungrateful thug. Public opinion split. Justice for Alex trending alongside Protect Viridian. Picket lines at her office. Counter-protest from redevelopment victims she'd bought off. Climax brewed at the city council hearing. Viridian's big pitch for East Side Towers. Her testimony, the crown jewel. We crashed it. Alex in a borrowed suit. Me with the drive clutched like Excalibur. The chamber hummed. Suits, activists, press gawking. Veronica at the podium, silk blouse gleaming, spinning her vision. Affordable housing, jobs, lifting Detroit from the brink. Alex stood, voice cracking but steel. Miss Slade? Tell them about the evictions. The payoffs. And me, your son, dumped for profit. Gasps rippled. She paled, but recovered. Delusional foster reject. Security. Chaos. Shouts. Flashes popping. I surged forward, USB aloft. Proof. Laundering. Threats. Check the files. Fists flew. Bouncers, not cops this time. Punches landed, mine connecting with a jaw that tasted like payback. Veronica watched from the dais, eyes locked, betrayer to betrayed, mother to son. We were ejected, bloodied but unbowed. Outside, sirens wailed, but the seed was planted. Reporters swarmed. Mr. Hale, revenge or redemption? Both? I spat, arm around Alex. And we're just starting. But as we limped to the truck, her text burned. You win this round. But blood binds. Meet me. Alone. Trap or truce. The line blurred, tension coiling like barbed wire. The meet was set for the old cast corridor, ghost town of my youth. Boarded windows and chain link scars where Veronica and I had first kissed under sodium lamps. Midnight, rain-slicked pavement mirroring the moon like a cracked promise. I arrived early, .38 tucked in my waistband, cold comfort against her silver tongue. Alex wanted to come, but I shut that down. This is adult shit, kid. Stay with Lena. Guard the fort. The Escalade purred up at 12 sharp. her silhouette emerging like a specter in trench coat and boots. No driver this time. She was all in, or bluffing big. "Madison," she called, voice carrying over the drizzle. "You always did pick dramatic spots." I stepped from the shadows, hands loose but ready. "Fits us. Queen of schemes versus the patsy." She approached, stopping an arm's length away, close enough for perfume to cut the rot, far enough for flight. The hearing was a circus. Counsels pulling Viridian bids pending review. Happy now? Not even close. I pulled the USB from my pocket, dangling it like bait. "This goes viral tomorrow. Your laundering, the XX suicide, all of it." Her laugh was brittle, rain-sheened. "And Alex? Dragged through tabloids as slumlord spawn? Is that the legacy you want for him?" I flinched, hit home. The kid was fracturing, nightmares back, raging at mirrors for a face he couldn't claim. "Better truth than your poison. You flipped on me on him. Maternal instinct? Bull. You're a spider. V. Webs everywhere, biting when cornered." She closed the gap, eyes searching mine, vulnerable, almost. "I was cornered then. Dad's debts, your hothead face. The robbery? Desperation, not malice. I testified to save us both. Plea deal, light sentence. But you lawyered hard, turned it into war." Lies. But doubt wormed in, her words a scalpel. Had I missed the bargain? Prison fogged memories, but flashes. Her in the gallery, tears streaming as the verdict dropped. "Lover act. Test me," she said, pulling a folder from her coat. Yellowed court transcripts. Her affidavit marked, withdrawn. DA pressured. I recanted post-trial, but it vanished. Buried by connections I didn't have yet. I snatched it, scanning frantic. Signatures matched, dates aligned. If true, she'd tried, feebly, to claw me back. Why hide it? Fear. She shivered, not from cold. "You hated me inside." Letters bounced, visits denied. By release, I'd built walls. Alex. He was the bridge I burned. Rain intensified, drumming accusations. Sympathy stirred, treacherous. Then why the deep fake? The cops. Desperation again. She met my gaze, unflinching. "You were closing in. Had to flip the board, make you the threat, by time." But Alex's speech gutted me. "He's got your fire, Matt. Our fire. Our." The word hung, seductive. I holstered the doubt, but the gun stayed heavy. Too late for family reunions. Confess publicly, the frame, the abandonment. Give him that. She nodded slow, resolute. Deal. Press conference next week. Viridian folds, I testify. Clean slate. Relief warred with suspicion. Her flips were legend. And the catch? None. A ghost smile. Except, walk away tonight. No leaks till then. Trust me, for him. Trust. The killer word. I weighed it. The USB in my fist, her eyes pleading. Alex's future, torn between us monsters. 1 hour. Then it drops. She stepped closer, hand on my chest. Electric, familiar. Madison. I'm sorry. The kiss was impulse, rain and regret, 20 years distilled. For a heartbeat, the world narrowed. Betrayer redeemed, scars softening. Then, headlights pierced the downpour, tires screeching. Black SUV, unmarked, barreling from the alley. Gunfire cracked, silenced pops, glass shattering my truck's window. I dove, tackling Veronica to the wet asphalt, bullets chewing concrete. Go, I yelled, .38 barking back. 2 shots, wild but warning. The SUV fishtailed, peeling into night. She gasped beneath me, clutching her side, dark blooms seeping through silk. Not me. Viridian board. They knew. Want me gone, you collateral. Betrayal's encore, corporate edition. Her scheming had spawned vipers deadlier than us. I ripped my shirt, binding the wound. Amateur tourniquet, blood hot on my hands. Hold on. Ambulance. No. She gripped my arm, fierce. Flash drive, destroy it. They'll kill Alex next. Panic surged. The USB, slick in the puddle. I crushed it under heel, circuits grinding to mud. Done. Now talk who? Langford. My VP. He's been siphoning, framing me. Call Lena. Her voice faded, eyes fluttering. I scooped her up, staggering to the truck. Mirrors shot out, but engine turned. Sirens wailed distant as I floored it toward Henry Ford, radioing Lena. Incoming. Shot. It's bad. ER was bedlam. Gurneys, shouts, Lena and scrubs barking orders. They wheeled Veronica away, Alex bursting in behind, face ashen, having tailed me against orders. Dad? What the? Later. I pulled him close, the word dad, a bomb amid carnage. She's fighting. We end this. Dawn broke gray as interrogations loomed. Cops sniffing my gun, the scene. But Veronica pulled through, groggy in recovery, spilling to IA. Langford's coup. Hired muscle. The works. Viridian imploded. Feds raiding. Headlines screaming, exec empire crumbles in bloodless betrayal. Public twist. Her confession vid dropped voluntary. Frame job admitted. Alex embraced as heir. Slade redemption trended. Splitting feeds. Villain turned victim, or master manipulator's pivot. Protests flipped. Activists picketing her bedside for restitution, while suits decried, woke witch hunt. Alex and I watched from the waiting room, TV droning debate. She's staying, he asked, voice small. Your call, kid. I ruffled his hair. Blood binds, but choice frees. He chose tentative. Visits, therapy, boundaries ironclad. Me? I chose release. Law clinic promotion, foster cert renewed. No empire, but solid ground. Months later, at the lake house Lena rented for Family Reset, Veronica joined us, scarred but subdued, flipping pancakes with actual warmth. Alex laughed at her jokes. I shared a beer on the dock, watching ripples spread. Happy? Nah, scars don't fade. But justice? Debatable. She'd paid. We'd healed, sort of. Was her shot staged, a final flip for sympathy? Whispers said yes. Board ties too neat. Alex suspects, I wonder. Readers, pundits, really, argue in comments. Hero or Patsy reborn? Mom or monster masked? Me? I fish, and let the water decide. Blood's thick, but truth cuts deeper. And in America, that's the real revenge, surviving the spin.